Hello, it's Ukotumezine here, the idea coach, founder of Co-Create Africa. So, thank you for getting to this point in this training on maximizing the power of your creativity, or rather, maximizing your creative superpower. So, I just want to take this time to explain the design thinking process and share with you how I have applied it in my life, on the job, and in business. So design thinking is really an iterative process. That is, it's not linear. You don't just go from one step to the other to the other. As you learn along the way, you can go back, forth, and just keep making changes as you go along. Remember, it's about creativity, and you really want to come up with a solution that solves the problem. So again, design thinking is a human-centered creativity process. That means humans are at the center of it. Most of the problems we want to solve, there are humans at the center of it. Whether they're personal problems, whether they are career problems, whether they're business problems, marital problems. Think of any kind of problem. There are people at the center of the problem. There are people you want to solve this problem for, and this person or these people, could be you, your family. So you have to understand that design thinking is really about solving the problem in a way that that user, that person who has the problem that you're trying to solve, finds your solution useful and that it really meets the need that they're trying to address. So, having said that, that design thinking is human centered and that it is iterative, I want to go ahead to talk through each of the steps in the process. The first step is to empathize, and that is really about understanding the problem from the user's perspective. Empathy is about really walking in somebody else's shoes. So, that first step is about understanding the problem that the user has. So, for example, if it's your personal problem, you are the user, you are the person with the problem right now. So, you need to do that digging to know what exactly is the problem I'm facing and really get as much information as you can about the problem. If it's someone else, you want to interview them, you want to observe how they're dealing with this problem, you want to really understand everything there is. In creativity and in design thinking, we say that you should fall in love with the problem and not with the solution. Oftentimes, we lead with the solution, we start out with the solution. That shouldn't be the case at all. You want to fall in love with the problem because problems evolve. You might solve A today and then it takes another form tomorrow. So you want to stay with the problem and keep solving that problem so that you continue to meet the end, the problem of that user that you're solving the problem for, whether it's yourself or another person. So after empathizing and understanding the problem better, you want to go on to define it. So maybe you had an understanding of the problem before you empathized. Now that you've empathized and you understand it better, you want to define it better and know exactly what you want to solve. So defining is about coming up with a problem statement that addresses the problem as it really is in the mind of the user. Now, after defining and you have a clear problem statement, you want to go ahead and ideate. Ideation is about coming up with tentative solutions. And at this point, you want to diverge. Remember what I mentioned about the principle of extended effort. You want to come up with as many ideas as possible. You don't want to limit yourself to the familiar, to what is familiar and usual in your space. You want to keep stretching yourself and your team members, if you're working with people, to come up with ideas beyond the familiar. That's where novelty lies. That's where creativity lies. That's where originality lies. That extended, place where you have come up with everything that you know, and you're like, what else can we do differently? What else can we tweak? What have we not looked at? What are we not considering? Remember, creativity is really about thinking, and it comes from that place of curiosity. And I had mentioned in the slides that you should have curiosity and ask the right questions. So you want to stretch yourself when you're coming up with ideas, and that's called diverging in creativity. Diverging, going far and wide to come up with ideas so that you really stretch yourself to go for originality and creativity and novelty. After diverging, you need to converge in this ideation phase. You need to converge, and that is where you look at all of the ideas and say, you know what, which ones really resonate with the problem we're trying to solve, which one is creative, which one will stretch our creative capacity, which one is novel, which one is unique. So you want to retain novelty, you want to retain originality, and you also want to come up with, go with the idea that really solves the problem. Having gone through ideation where you diverged and then converged, the next step is to prototype. So now you have something that you want to try out. Prototyping allows you, in fact, people would say go with rapid prototyping. Come up with the quickest way that you can design that idea, that solution, and put it in the hands of the user, whether it's yourself or others. Let them test it, let them try it out, let them get back to you with feedback. Watch how they use it, observe everything, and say, oh, maybe they had difficulty doing this, or maybe there was a hitch here. So prototyping is really about learning, understanding what works and what doesn't work in your solution, so that you can improve it. Now the final thing is test. So with the prototype and everything you've learned, you now build something that is refined and better, suited to solving the problem, and then you put it out and test. So it's iterative. At this phase again, you're going to learn something. You're going to know, okay, what can we do? And that's why, for example, with phone companies, you see them come up with iPhone 7, iPhone 8. All of those things are iterations on the previous one and what they've learned, what users now want. So in business, for example, you're always wanting to stay in touch with users, get their feedback, see how they're interacting with your product, so that you can improve on it. So that's design thinking process in summary. Now, I want to share how I have used this in my life, personal life. Um, One of the things that comes readily to mind is where I have had issues with onboarding a maid, for example. So I bring this person and I'm constantly reminding them of what to do, what to do, what to do. Oh, did you do this today? I forgot. Did you do this today? I forgot. So I sat down and thought about it. What way can I help this person so that we can help ourselves? She can get her job done and I can have that peace of mind that it's getting done. And so I came up with creating job aids for my mates. So you would see it up on my wall. Mondays do this, Tuesdays do that. Now that helps them to solve the problem of forgetting, and it helps me to solve the problem of having to always remind, or realizing days later that something that was meant to be done hasn't been done. On the job, again, design thinking. The person whose problem I want to solve would typically be my supervisor. So I would spend time understanding what they consider issues, what are the pain points they have on the job, and then come up with ideas. Define that problem statement properly, and then come up with ideas on how to ensure that I don't contribute to their problems, rather I help them to solve their problems. So if you're that kind of person who is creative on the job, who is proactive, trust me, you're going to grow through the ranks quickly, and you will find favor with the people who matter. So that's for career. So always being that person that goes to your supervisor, or maybe you have a board of directors, or you report to a chairman of a company, or um, you just run a department, and you want to ensure that you're contributing value and being creative on the job. You have to understand who are the users of the outcomes or the products, or the things that my department in this company produces. For example, I've been in learning. Who are the people that use the learning that we produce? What are the problems that they face? How do we want to make sure that they don't encounter those problems? How do we deal with those problems and solve those problems for them, hopefully before they even arise? So that allows me to generate ideas and come up with solutions that make life easier for everyone. Now, in business, if you're starting out a business or you already run a business, you have people that you're um, creating solutions for, your customers. You want to understand the problem. What I find is most times people go into business with their own solution to the problem they have imagined, without really spending time to understand the person they want to solve a problem for, who is going to be paying you, and what are their problems, what do they want addressed, so that you can speak to those particular issues in the way that you even design your business model, in the way that you market your business, in the way that you position yourself in the market. So you want to understand your user, You want to define the problem they want solved clearly, and then you want to come up with ideas to ensure that your business addresses those problems, spot on. And then with the ideas, you want to prototype, see how people react, people interact with your solution, and then you can go on to build a product that really, really addresses the problems of your end users. And that's how to stay at the fore of your users' minds, where they always refer you to others and come back with repeat business. So, I hope that you find this video inspiring to make creativity a part of your life in every area. You can, like I said in the slides, if you can think, you can create. If you can create, of course, you're being creative. So, creativity is not about the arts, it's not about, all of the things that we have come to believe that creativity is about. Oh, she's so creative with fashion design. No, you can be creative in the sciences. It's really about originality, and I hope that you go on to live a creative life. Thank you.